guys. The interview names of all the draftees that are being brought into the NFL team's house has been put out there in the ether. So I want to cover the Dolphins list of names you can see here. Just the offensive line guys. Tomorrow I'll do the defense guys. Got to do some more research on them. But for me, the offensive guys they're bringing in is creating a clear narrative. I want to go over the different players, and I think it's pretty clear. The green is the offensive lineman, the red is the tight ends, and the one lone blue guy is the running back. So I'm going to dig into that and the overall narrative, each individual player and the overall narrative. And I think we just have to wait and see on everything. We had a good free agency. Fangio is phenomenal. This draft, I do believe it's big. It's big to get Tyndale and Easy to play this year. But it's talent that we're going to be able to evaluate and depth. But what happens with that talent is the key. It's the most critical thing. How Fangio and McDaniel handle it. What do the Zebras do? What does the injury bug do? And what do other teams do? So let's be excited. Let's not say we're doomed if we don't do this, or we're going to Super Bowl if we do this. Let's just enjoy and create a fair evaluation. Comprendez-vous? So I want to say thanks for stopping by. Some of you people I talk to 2 or 3 times a week, and I enjoy it. I love the comments. I love people. I love relationships, and I'm grateful for all the likes, the subscribes, the comments, the views, everything. You guys make this channel go. So I want to give you a shout-out, and shout-out to Ace Bread, my sponsor, because without you, without them, this show ain't going down. Ace Bread's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. All right, so here's that list again. As I said, I'll do the defensive players tomorrow. The skinny on what I think we're going to go one defensive player in that second or third round and a tight end in that second or third round. So I think we want Laporta and a defensive player in the third. And then we'll try to find some offensive linemen in the 6th and maybe a slight trade up into the 5th. So you see Anthony Bradford, offensive tackle, 12 games, 778 snaps with the Tigers, 6 QB hurries, 3 QB hits, and 4 sacks while playing most of his snaps at right guard. He's a backup. He's a guy who will get late. Any of these guys could be unbelievable. But I think that, if he's a right guard, you got Hunt. This is some guy you're looking maybe in that 5th round to trade up, or if he falls late. And then you got Braden Daniels, who I think is intriguing. The Shanahan team of the Jets and San Fran brought them in for an interview as well. And so that's good. San Fran knows offensive linemen. You can see here, this is just before he went to his senior season. One of the biggest all-or-nothing type offensive linemen on the list. Daniels took more downgrades, -1 to lower, ugly losses than any other player in the top 40. He also had the 3rd most big-time blocks of anyone on this list. He started 2 years at left guard before switching to right tackle midway through the past season. At only 300 pounds, he packs a lot of explosive into a relatively slim frame. So this guy, I think, could be someone you get at left guard. Don't think he's ready to start immediately. He's pretty good in the run game, not so much in the pass game. He played tackle. I think that he's a guy, too, that is going to be back end, but he's a guy who could develop. He does offer some intrigue. I got to watch some more film of him. Some reviews said he was a little underpowered. Some people said he was a really good athlete. So that's a guy, though, I don't see us in the 3rd. Now, Trevor Reed. Reed saw action 11 games, 590 snaps. He gave up 8 QB hurries, 2 QB hits, and 3 sacks while playing left tackle. It's a lot of pressure, and that's not a guy you're going to spend a 3rd-round pick on. So I think he's another guy you're hoping to fall and maybe develop, maybe come in and play guard, a little small. But, again, guys that you can get to fill out that back end of the roster could develop. I just don't see these guys coming in and being the big difference makers. Now, I'll show you this right here. A PFF has like a grading chart, and they got Jay Schmitz, up there at the top right at 90, and they love him. You can see Daniels, and another guy we'll talk is Scruggs, Juice Scruggs, great name. They're in the 65 range. So Schmitz could be a guy you could see in that 3rd round. I don't see in the 2nd. You could see him in the third round. I personally get a little Dieter vibe from him. You see a lot of people talked about the scheme helping him out, and he just looks a little soft to me, not physically developed. I don't know. I got to watch more tape of the guy. He's a little Dieter-esque, and so I'm hoping that he's not a guy we take because he's not going to place Connor Williams. And, but maybe you could bring him in, and next season you move Williams over if Eichenberg doesn't succeed, and this guy plays center, and then you'd have Tehran, and you'd have Williams, and Schmitz, and then you'd have Hunt, and then, I don't know, Jackson maybe? I don't know. So I could see that, but I'm not too high on that one. Now, Juice Scruggs got an unbelievable name. Juice Scruggs Curtis could be my next child. I think it's phenomenal. He had 12 games, 836 snaps with the Lions, 8 QB hurries, 3 QB hits, and 1 sack while playing center. But again, I don't see him, I just don't see him as being a guy we're going to grab in the second or third. It could be considered a reach. Greer does have a tendency to reach on offensive linemen, but I just don't see it. So to me, these are the guys are going to be depth players, guys we're looking to see that may fall or something like that. I don't see us going for any. And, when you read a lot of draft nicks, they say first round is talent, back end is dice rolls and gems, but those middle rounds, it's a little dicey. So for those of us who are hoping for offensive line help, I don't think so. I think it adds further weight that Eichenberg and Jackson are going to be dependent on. Not the end of the world. We can deal with that later. Let's move on. Now, I do think tight end is coming in the second and third. We got Laporta here. He's their second round pick, a hope. And if not, then it'll be Tucker in the third, Tucker Kraft in the third. Laporta, he's a talented guy, fast. He can break tackles, little high point issues. But he would accentuate our big play potential, but he's not a good run blocker. But they say he has the ability to develop, and you can, but it's not going to happen in training camp. And this year, it might take a year or two. So he would be a guy to come in, and maybe Saubert, the great German name guy right there, he would be the blocker along with Smythe, and then Tanakana would be the, pass-catching flex guy, and then you would have your big play sort of Porter guy to come in. I don't like that, as you know, because I want run blocking, I want pass blocking, I want pass balance, but I can get into the broader conversation. I can see it go two different ways. There's a lot of things that changed since last year, and we went to the playoffs, and we had to drop 3 easy games. So just by going to attack and be ahead and let the defense do some big stuff, we can go real far. It does not mean we have to have pass balance. Now, I like Kraft in the third. He's an inline blocker. He'd come in and help us out tremendously. Not really a pass catcher, hardworking guy. And I kind of feel like he is the higher floor for us, floor for us this season. And I think he fills a big need. But Porter is the higher point guy. Porter is if he can learn to pass block with all he's got, he's going to be a stud. So that's really where I think we're at. And then Kendre Miller, he's the running back, 220 guy, fast, but they say he doesn't like contact. And they say he's a little jittery, and that bothers me. When I was in college, I was a running back, and, I had some talent. I was pretty mobile. I had good short area quickness, nice explosion, but I love contact. I loved it. But we had this guy, Berrios, who was, fast, ran like a 4.4, big thighs like Barry, but he would, anytime you get hit, everybody would laugh at him. And I don't like running backs that don't like contact. And at this stage, I don't see him changing it. So in the NFL, the whole shrink, and you got to be really decisive. You can't be trying to get the big play all the time. I tried that in college, from high school to college, and my offensive line coach called it, hey, Juice, OJ, hit the hole, And so I learned quick. But at this level, if you don't like contact and you're a little jittery, it's a process to develop. The kid's high point talent, the speed and size is phenomenal, though. But I don't see that here. I think that Sam Laporta is the guy they want in the second, a defensive player in the third. If they miss on Laporta, they'll go defense in the second, and they'll grab Kraft in the third. And I don't hate that. I'd rather have them get a quality defensive player and Kraft in the third rather than reaching on an offensive lineman. That's going to be another reach and fail. So we'll see how it plays out. I think there's a lot of options. I really like Kraft for us. We need to block better. We need to support Tua with a run game and blocking and have legit play action. But I could also see Porter too and a defensive player, though I got to think on which and why on that. So it's a little bit of news. It's interesting. I wouldn't put red alert on the offensive line. We might not get killed by the injury bug. And that could go a long way, guys. But of course, we are really thin. And if the injury bug hits, that is a concern. But we still have finances coming up with Jones getting pulled off the books. So who knows? And who knows what really happens? Maybe a guy falls and Greer trades up, or he has a guy, one of these guys is so awesome we don't know, and he brings him in. I don't know. We'll see. Be excited. There's a lot of potential for us, and that potential might be exactly what you want. So let's wait and see, guys. Anyway, Curtis saying thanks for stopping by. You guys are the best. Curtis saying catch you next time. Be well. Go Fins. Start building your own online sports book today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.